Hey guys, here's my process for how I do background cleanup for studio work. To start out, I'll just use the clone step tool on 100% opacity just to kind of block in any areas that weren't covered by the background. In this case, I just used some fabric I had lying around in my craft room and I hung it up against my closet. So it wasn't the most professional setup, and there was a lot of gaps and wrinkles and everything going on. And then from there, to get rid of any imperfections very quickly, I'll use the healing brush tool, and then you just kind of select an area that's clean and you use that to go over it. What I like about this is it'll remove any details and stuff without too much issues, and it's a very quick way to get rid of large areas. Just remember not to use this close to edges or like close to the model, because you will have an issue with the clone stamp kind of freaking out. You'll see I'll just kind of go between the two and use them to clean up wherever necessary. Like here I'm just using the clone stamp again just to kind of go over everything. You don't have to be too precise with this step, it's just kind of to block in the color and get rid of any excess detail. As you can see, the cupboard picked up the color of the lights very differently to how the fabric did. And then from there, I just go over everything with the healing brush tool. Get rid of any areas where there's ugly marks or whatever the case may be. I also like to zoom out, because sometimes when you zoom in, it's very hard to see any imperfections. I'm just using the healing brush still, just to kind of get rid of some of the wrinkles in the shadows. And then I just switch to clone stamp tool on 30% opacity, just to kind of soften anything up that the healing brush didn't get. And I'm just going over everything just to smooth everything out. Don't worry too much about going back and forth. Like even for myself, I've been doing this for years and I still sometimes miss something. So don't worry too much about that. Just keep going back until you're happy with everything. This can be quite a long, laborious process, but it's worth it in the end. As you can see from the before and after, there's really a massive difference. And then from here, I started doing my basic retouching. Here I'm just using frequency separation to do quick skin cleanup. If you want more information on that, you can check out the video tutorial for September. I covered that in a lot more detail. But pretty much what you do is you Gaussian blur the background, the bottom layer, and then you use apply image to bring back the detail on the top layer. And then from here I'm just evening out her skin tone, cleaning up any bags, cleaning up any imperfections on her skin using the Gaussian blur filter and the clone stamp tool on 20% opacity, just to clean everything up, get rid of any ickies, and you know, all of that lovely stuff. And then from there I go to the detail layer and I just use my clone stamp on 100% to just clean up the skin. You might notice that after every click I'll go and I'll select a new area, because otherwise what can happen is you'll get that repetitive pattern that you can get from clone stamp, which looks very unrealistic and photoshopped. And the whole point of this is to make it look natural and not photoshopped. So yeah, that's the real skill of photography, is getting your editing to look like it was not edited. So I'm just cleaning up any imperfections, any pores or little marks. You know, anime characters have perfect skin, so you want your models to have perfect skin. I had a really fun time working on Yama because she's got such good skin that like the retouching part was always so quick for me. I'm just going through the whole picture, checking if there's anything else that needs to be fixed. This image was pretty clean, so I didn't have to do much. Now I'm just going back to the background and fixing up any areas that I might have missed or feel like they need more work. Now I'm just going in on a clean layer, and I'm using my hairbrushes just to clean up the hair a little bit. I'm just neatening up the little spiky bits of the hair, making them look a bit more defined, just so that everything looks a bit more put together and everything just comes together a little bit better. It's a small step, but it can really make a massive difference. Now I'm just going back in and darkening all the little dark areas, just to make the wig look a little bit better defined. Just brushing them in also helps to hide some of the stray hairs. Then from there I'm going in and picking up lighter colours and then just defining the little strands of hair. And I'm going with levels. And when you push Alt, you'll see that on the shadow side it'll go black, and on the highlights it'll go white. And then all those little colours you see are where the colours are clipping. You just kind of pull it until they're not clipping. As soon as you let go of Alt, it'll go back to normal, and you just kind of check, because you don't want your colours to clip, so you can just kind of go from that and use it as a guideline for how much contrast to add to the highlights and shadows. Then from there I do my dodging and burning with curves layers. I'll pull the curves down by 3 of those little blocks, and then invert it and use just the regular round soft brush set to 11% opacity, just to kind of paint in my shadows a little bit and, you know, emphasize what I want to. Like for instance with this one, because Yama is a girl and she's cosplaying as a guy, I'm just using it to kind of sculpt out her cheekbones a little bit more, bringing back some of the shadows in the jackets, etc, etc. And then for burning I'll do the same thing, but obviously just with 3 blocks up on the curves. And then I'll use that to highlight any points I want highlighted. Like in this case, I did a little bit on the cheeks, a little bit on the lips, a little bit on the chin, and I brightened up the eyes a bit. Also brushed on the hair, and I lightened the shadow behind her just a smidge. Didn't do much dodging and burning on this image, as I didn't really feel that it did it. Then she had a bit of a green cast on her teeth from the light, so I did try to fix that a little bit. But I ended up scrapping this layer as I didn't really like what it was doing. So I just left the shadow there. I then used color layers just to kind of balance out the colors a bit. Obviously this will depend on which image you're using, but just kind of pull them around and keep going till you're happy with it. I added a lot of red, purple and yellow to this image because I just felt like it balanced it out nicely. It wasn't a big change, but it really brought out those purples. Then from here I use neck effects just to build up my filter. As I have said before, you can accomplish everything that you can do in color effects manually via Photoshop. But for me, I prefer to do it this way just because it's a lot quicker and you can just kind of build it up to where you want it to be. Traditionally, doing something like this would usually take me like 3 to 4 hours to get my filters perfect. But with this, I can narrow that down to like 15 minutes to half an hour, depending on how in depth I get to it. If you guys want me to do a full tutorial on how to use neck effects for filtering, just let me know and I'll make a tutorial. But more or less what I do is I kind of just run through the filters, and if something catches my eye, I'll just kind of go with that and just keep building on until I'm happy with what I see. I'll sometimes even work my way down and then work my way back up again. And as you can see with these filters, I didn't really clean up the background properly. It's really hard to see white on white sometimes, so I will go back and fix that afterwards. Please excuse the weird noises, there's crazy wind and it's blowing my blinds like crazy. So sorry for the weird noises. Reflector effects is probably one of my favorites because putting it on really brings out the details in the blacks. And always remember to save your filters. I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten and then had to go back and try to figure out what I did the first time around. And I'm just kind of going through other filters I've made in the past to see if there's anything else I like more. I'll do this sometimes just to kind of see, because sometimes you'll make one, and then you'll go back and you'll find that one you've made before actually works better for the image. But for this one I just stuck with the one that I had used, or created rather. I think I got a bit distracted by my phone here. You can see it makes quite a big difference, but I really like it. Like, I feel like the filter brought in a lot of warmth. I did pull the opacity down to about 75%, just take a bit of it out. But I really feel like it brought out the dual colored filters, or lights rather. And then I'm just going back in with my heel brush tool, just to clean up the background a little bit more. There's all those ugly spots I missed before. Excuse me. Before I pair, I'm just doing another frequency separation just to make the cleanup a little bit quicker. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the color layer and I'm just selecting the areas that are really messy, and then just using Gaussian blur to blur out all those icky imperfections. If it's the last filter that you used, then the shortcut for it will be Command F. And that's pretty much it. I hope this tutorial was helpful. If there's anything you didn't understand, please let me know. And let me know what you guys would like to see next.